Well, we're live again. I don't. At some point, I will fucking figure out why halfway through video, my YouTube just shuts down and cuts me off, and then I got to start all over. I don't really understand it, but anyway. All right. So I was on a a meme group, right? Like just one of those meme like groups where people put memes and shit on there, and some interesting truth bombs were dropped, and so brought the question was brought up, can women actually be happy? You know, can they actually be happy? It's an interesting thought because so I will start with my everything is not working technology. Okay, here we go. I'll start with what my gay friend actually had to say about it, which is really interesting. A guy who doesn't date women who had amazing insight on this. So I'm going to read verbatim what he said. Okay. So on the subject again of can women actually be happy, he said, but here's the rub. Happiness is a masculine virtue. Women do not want to be happy. Look at your own language here. And you say make them happy. Tell me, do you require a woman to make you happy? Can a woman make you happy? Of course not. Your happiness is an effect of your purpose and self-esteem. These are inner directed events. Women require outer validation. Unless it be that ultimate inner experience of motherhood, which again only frames their essential emptiness and vessel-like nature. They must either create a life from that void or trap a man into fulfilling their existence. Interesting, right? You might want to go and rewind. I'm not going to read it again. You can press the rewind button. Reread it. Listen to that one again. And that was again from a guy who doesn't even date women. He's just observing from the outside, and he's observing a very interesting fact. He's saying that happiness is really not a feminine trait at all. Now I can already hear the screeching going on behind any women that might be listening. You know, what do you mean I can't be happy? I can be just as happy as a man can be. You know, okay. Sounds great, Karen. Sounds like a barrel of fun. Yeah. So we can maybe let's take our personal drive to White Knight and personal drives to Screech if you're a female and defend yourself without any logic or reason. And let's look at this for a second. This idea. So are women actually capable of happiness? And we look at relationships all the time, and generally speaking, if you're in this game at all, whether it's unpolitically correct to say, but if you're in this game at all, you know that women are creating drama. Like, if things are too fucking like smooth for any length of time, you know what I mean, without any troubles or drama, like a woman is gonna create it. She's gonna create it out of nowhere, and that happens all the time. Guys tend to be really content. A guy could go to work 8 hours a day or so, come home, play video games for 5 hours, and go to bed. You know what I mean? He's not, a guy can be, 80% of guys, not your most driven men, okay, but, a lot of guys can be pretty content just kind of plugging along throughout their day, and women are the ones who are usually unsatisfied after a certain point. And so it begs the question, can they be happy at all? Is happiness a masculine trait, and can women actually be happy? So a lot of guys who, are more you call it the black pill types, where, the black pill is more of a defeatist kind of a mindset. Yeah, it's just like this and you can't fucking do shit about it. So guys who take that mindset, yeah, they're going to say, well, you just can't make women happy, so why even try? And you know what I mean? Just do your own thing. Who gives a shit? Whatever, And okay, I get that. Appreciate that idea, right? That defeatist mindset. But I want to pick it apart a little more than that. I don't really take the black pill with this. I think that women can be happy. I think that their ability to be happiness and what they define as that, though, can be different than what a man's ability and definition is, okay? And so, especially weaker, 80%, not putting a judgment on it, but more beta males, more kind of less driven males, you know what I mean? About 80% of guys out there, really, 8 out of 10, all right, are more striving towards contentment. They just want peace and contentment. You know what I mean? They want a certain amount of needs met, and they just kind of want their peace. Well, that contentment's not going to work for your woman, guys. All right, it's just not. That's not her definition of happiness. And so here's why. It goes back to hypergamy, okay, which is a blessing and a curse in some ways. I mean, the blessing there is that it genetically drives our species forward, and women can actually be a motivator for guys who are not self-motivated. I mean, that's a fact. Guys who would otherwise be not self-motivated and just kind of living in, you know, an average existence, you know, they pick up on this chick, and because of her hypergamy, they want to make her happier, better, they want her to go somewhere else, so they start striving for more shit. Or, you know, they're striving for more things because they want to get better pussy later on, you know, so they want to be, they'll rationalize it, like, yeah, I want to provide for a family for somebody, or whatever nonsense that they're going to say, but really they want a hotter, better chick, right? So they're going to try to strive for more shit to get that because they're not in the top 20% or even top 10% of the looks category or dominant behavior category where they'd be attractive all by themselves. So, you know, they're going to get stuff and provisions and all that to get the ladies, you know. And so in some ways, you know, at least for a lot of men, and again, not talking the most driven men out there, but the majority of men, women can be a driving factor for dudes to do better. Their dissatisfaction with just life in general, okay, can drive men forward. And you got to understand it. This is not a condemnation on women, right? It's just that, you know, women are looking for the next best thing all the time. And so no matter what she has, she's always, well, where are we going with this? You know, she's looking forward. She's not going to be happy going to, like, let's say an average job that's not too great, but it's not too bad, and just kind of making like average money and then just doing like average shit on the weekends. Eventually that's going to get real annoying for a chick, and she's going to want something different. She'll want something more, whether it's kids or travel or, you know what I mean? Like, she'll need something. And it's not that guys never go through that, but just not to the extent that women do. Okay, so usually it's women who are driving things, the next thing. A guy is like content living in his space, and let's just do this for a while. And she's like, no, when are we going to have a baby? You know, when are we going to, let's get a bigger house. Let's do this other thing. Let's get more property. Let's take this vacation. Let's do this. Why are you laying on the couch? Why are you sleeping? Why are you watching football? Let's go do more shit. Okay, that's your women. All right. And it's not to say that a woman can't relax. They do relax, but they can't perpetually relax like 80% of guys. All right. So, what's the solution? What are we looking at? Do we just condemn women and say that they can never be happy and fuck them and all this? I mean, if you want to live in a mountain side somewhere, like you're out in the country someplace where there aren't very many people, and just play online video games and converse with the guys that way, and that's your social interaction, and whack off to pornography or get a sex doll and have just a happy existence that way, like, hey, God bless you, you know what I mean? I guess you don't have to worry about this stuff. But if you want to, you know, have actual chick in your life and have all the benefits, and I think it's beneficial to have women in your life, you know, wouldn't be doing this channel and advising people on relationships if I thought otherwise. So if you want the benefits of having a woman in your life, then you have to learn how to work with them, right? They need to learn how to work with you, which their huge entitlement prevents that. Huge level of entitlements here in the United States, particularly with women here. The level of entitlement of women is just out of control. But, you know what I mean, whether they want to admit that, and whether, you know, the strong independent woman narrative tells them to be to work with you as a guy, they do need to, but you need to work with them too, right? And so what is it that women want? What would make a woman happy? It's that striving towards something. If you're just sort of content, right, and you're with a woman, she's going to break you of that contentment that you have. She is going to start an argument. She's going to start drama. She's going to do, what are we doing next weekend? She's going to start planning your weekends for you. She's going to start doing shit to create instability and drama in your life if you just sit back and let that happen, all right? As a man, if you don't lead the relationship, she's going to do it for you, and you're probably not going to like it very much. And quite frankly, she's not going to fucking like it very much either. I don't care what that strong, independent woman bullshit narrative tells her, all right, and tells her how to be when she's in the driver's seat trying to plan and do every fucking thing because you're too complacent. She's not going to like that, okay? And you're not going to like the results, and it creates a problem in relationships across the board. So how do you deal with a woman's lack of contentment? They're so unhappy. They're not even wired to be happy. What do we do? So the answer is that you chase excellence, all right? So this is a no-brainer for like a guy like myself and probably about 20% of guys out there who, it's like, even if I won the lotto tomorrow and had $500 million in the bank account, it wouldn't change my goals. Like, I would still be striving towards the things that I want to strive for. It would just give me some more money to play with while I do it, you see? So guys who are not playing to win and guys who are sort of playing to not lose and playing to be content, you're going to have a problem with your women, all right? Because you're not demonstrating alpha qualities, so that's unattractive. That's the first thing. So she's going to grow unattracted to you. If she married you for provisioning and stuff, she's going to work you like a workhorse, feel mad and upset when you're not working like a workhorse and helping her advance her goals, all right? And so if you're the workhorse beta male provider, she's going to expect you to advance her goals and her needs, whether it's kids, a bigger house, you know what I mean, more money in the bank account, a special vacation, some sort of gift, you know, whatever it may be, okay? She's going to want you to advance her goals, and if you don't, she's going to resent you and not like you for it, all right? That's if you're the beta male who is more or less the provider, the workhorse, who is trying to just be content in life. If you're trying to be content in life, she's going to bring you drama, and she's going to bring you bullshit, okay? And she's going to force you into her imperative. Now, if you are the alpha male type who is striving for excellence, striving to make his dent in the world, all right? So you're going to do that for yourself, and you're going to naturally carry that over into your relationships with women. And so this means you're going to do shit because that's how you are. You're going to plan that cool, let's do something cool or different next weekend, you know? Do that surprise. Go off to that concert. You know what I mean? Do that fucking afternoon picnic. Take that little vacation. Take that drive someplace. Like, you know, you're going to work on getting the resources to do it. And, you know, of course, you're going to strive towards that. And once you start getting those things, you're going to start doing shit because that's who you are as a man. If you get complacent, she is going to create drama and instability. So her idea of happiness, guys, is not, if you're the 80% of guys who just kind of want peace, quiet, and contentment, your idea of happiness is not her idea of happiness. All right? She needs to be feeling like she's going somewhere. All right? That's that hypergamous strive. She needs to feel like it's going somewhere. And if you're like, let's say, like me right now, right? I'm really focused on my own goals. So I got my own fitness goals. I got my book I'm writing. I got some military things I'm doing. Okay, I got some courses I'm taking. Like, you know, if you're like all into that, if that's like what your life is like, well, you still have to put some attention into your relationship and take that drive and put it into the relationship and actually do things with your chick. You can relax with your chick. She can be, you know, the quiet, content solace. If she's out achieving goals too, she's going to want a lot of that as well. But every now and then, you're going to have to get off your ass and fucking do something. All right? And if you're both working and striving towards shit, then there needs to be clear goals like in mind and set so you know that you're moving towards something. If you're not moving towards something yourself personally and moving the relationship towards things for the rest of your life, okay, this is kind of the rule, she is going to bring you drama and she's going to bring you a lack of contentment. She's going to bring you instability, all right? Women need to feel some instability sometimes, even though they strive for security and instability. They need to feel that instability to know they're going somewhere. All right, if you're too content for too long, they're going to start asking questions like, what are you thinking? Where are we going with this? What are we going to do next? You know, we should do this. We should do that. How come you're taking a nap on a Saturday? Like, right? And so to kind of direct that in a so you have two choices, okay? Because it's how their brains are wired. And yours are wired actually to go either way. You can be content as a man, just sort of, do the same thing every day and die that way. But you could also get a sense of accomplishment for achieving stuff too, right? So that's that alpha tendency or those beta tendencies. So what I recommend, if you're not just going to, be an incel off into the mountains somewhere and just retreat into your cabin, what I recommend is that you tap into those alpha instincts and chase excellence yourself. Don't do anything to placate to any female, but do shit because you want to and because it's good for the relationship and because you want to be in a relationship with this person. You know what I mean? And go do cool shit. If you're driving goals forward in your relationship, if you're doing that, then her idea of happiness is going to be satisfied. She wants to feel safe, secure, and on a level of contentment, but she wants to know she's going somewhere. That's how they're wired. That is a primal drive for them. Okay, that's how. Because to a woman, being complacent or stagnant for too long implies death. It implies that you're dying. Okay, and it makes sense if you're looking at it from the standpoint of somebody who's actually going to carry the child, right? From a genetic primal perspective. So stagnant or complacency means death to a female after a while. She'll be cool, like I said, for a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months of sort of complacent, just sort of getting by every day, having some sex, eating some dinner, relaxing, and those things are great. That gives her that sense of security she needs. But after a point, though, she's going to need to know things are going someplace. Even if you have $1 million, even if you have $10 million in the bank account and you have nothing to worry about, technically, right, she will make something for you to worry about. Okay, if you're not actually, and so it's a very simple thing. Hey, you know what? Like, let's go travel. Let's go to Bali. 4 months from now, let's save up and let's take a trip and go to Bali for like a week. That's simple, right? Or hey, let's go see this show, in a couple weeks. Let's do this. Let's go to this party, Let's do this. Let's go fucking do some shit together. It's part of courting your lady, right? Well, part of courting your lady is going to create a positive instability, okay? Not a negative instability, but a positive instability in your schedule, right? And in your normal day-to-day, you're breaking up your normal day-to-day, and you're adding some variety into your life. And quite frankly, it's a lot of fun. I like doing that, all right? But then again, I'm kind of a driven male. I have to drive towards stuff. That's how I'm driven. So the rest, 90% of you might look at that and go, I don't know if I want to do that. But do it, okay? Do it. Because if you want to be happy with your chick, you got to satisfy this part of her that is going to want change, all right? Even in a sexual sense, variety is an important thing. If it's all the same thing day in, day out, every single day, though you might be content with a lot of that and only making small changes, she wants bigger and more than that. And that's just how she's wired. So you can take control of it, all right? You can create that spice and that variety in your relationship by making goals for you guys to go for, which creates a little bit of tension and a little bit of instability, and that's okay, right? Or you can let life do it for you. You can let problems crop up and shit that's going to create that instability for you. You can let her, her dissatisfaction build, and then she's creating arguments and drama and bringing bullshit in your life, You can let that be the way, okay, that instability is created. And so be reactive and have an unhappy relationship with your chick, all right, or with women in general. Or be proactive, understand how they're wired, figure out how that can match how you're wired so you're happy too, because I'm not suggesting that you give up your own happiness for anybody, all right? And then make the shit work. And go have a good time, all right? Have a great time. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Hopefully that helps you in your interactions with women in relationships.